let's talk about the history of money. Gold and silver have been money for over 4,500 years. Nowadays, governments trick us into taking these paper notes and they call that money. But in reality, there's nothing backing it up. I believe it was in the 1970s where Nixon took the United States off the gold standard, which basically at that time meant that anything that was printed as money, as the paper money that we use nowadays, was actually backed up by gold. And this is a realistic case for pretty much every country around the world. After that, countries just started printing money, which is what we see nowadays with all this money printing and why inflation is so high. Also, from the Greeks to the Romans to the Chinese, they all started their empires with gold. What they ended up doing is, in times, they would want to conquer new land, so they would use the gold to pay for soldiers, for weapons, for armor, etc. Because wars are so expensive, what they ended up having to do was take the gold and dilute it with other metals and use that to pay. Now, over time, those other metals would corrode, disappear, and the person that was doing the job would only be left with a small portion of gold, pretty much putting an end to their conquering days. So, what they would have to do was start their empires all over again, but just based on gold. Creating those fake gold coins is the equivalent of what money printing is today. Have you ever asked yourself what makes money money? First of all, we have something called a currency, and what a currency allows us to do is to buy something that has value to it. So let's call that an asset. This could be, for example, a paper note or a bill that we used that is actually backed up by something, in this case, gold, that you could redeem that paper note for that gold. And then we have actual money. So money is something that has value within itself. So a gold coin is not only a currency, but the actual gold is what backs up that currency. And then we get to the almighty fiat currency, which really isn't almighty at all because it really has nothing of value to it. Now, we perceive it as value because the governments tell us that it has a value to it. But in reality, nothing is backing up that paper money that you're using.